Are you ready? Okay. Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's that girl Summy, and you must have noticed that I decided to add Summy to my YouTube name. It was as a result of people trying to find me to search my YouTube page on YouTube, and they're always having issues because there was a lot of that girl content. So I decided to add Summy. So if you should just type that girl Summy, then poof, you will see me. And yeah, I'm sure you can see this beautiful lady. This is Mariya Zachary, my colleague, and today we decided to come sit and talk about marriage. Now this is going to be a long video. Okay.
Marriage is a long thing.
Exactly. So okay, before then, if you are my long-time viewer, I want to say thank you so much for everything. Welcome back. And if you're new, if you're just passing by and you just saw this video and decide to click on it, then welcome. Okay, click on the red subscribe button because there is a lot of content coming your way, and join the family. And also click on the post notification bell so you can get alerts on all of my videos. I'm going to put how you are supposed to do it. Just do exactly what you see on your screen by clicking on all. That way, whenever I post a video, you would get all of the alerts. Okay, so with that being said, I would say thank you. Make sure you subscribe. Today we decided to come sit with my colleague Mariya to talk about marriage, because I have gotten a lot of videos about talking about marriage counseling and all that. It's one, I don't want to use a cuss word, but it is one of the journey, or one of the things that people need to talk about that we are not addressing. Okay, nobody talked to you about marriage counseling much. Though I've seen women, there are this group of women that I have met, and they are talking about marriage. Okay, they do a lot of counseling, and I'm sure yeah there are very few, and I'm hoping that I'll get to invite some of them, maybe a group of them, to talk about it in counseling, because I think they studied it and yeah, they're good. So anywho, since I'm not a marriage counselor, I'm not a therapist, I'm not an expert, I decided to bring someone who has been in marriage for a while. She has 2 kids, like 2 beautiful babies, and we decided to just come sit and talk about things based on research, based on our little experiences, based on what we've heard our parents or friends talk about. Okay, just so you know, we actually made research. Okay, so yeah, let's go on with it. First of all, we're not going to define what marriage is. Everyone knows what marriage is, yeah? Okay. So we know marriage is 2 people coming together to become one.
A man and a woman come together to become husband and
wife. Okay.
Briefly, that's it.
Yeah, that's it basically. So when you talk about marriage, yeah, what first comes to mind?
The wedding. The wedding preparations, the vendors, the beautiful lights, the flowers, the makeup, the dress.
That's true. People always think about the wedding,
the food.
Like, oh my God, I want my wedding to be so perfect,
so beautiful, so colorful, so classy. God, it's. They don't think it's not just the wedding.
But is it just the wedding though?
It's for people, how we see it, how a lot of us see it. It's just the wedding. We worry more about the wedding. We hardly worry about what comes after the wedding, and that's the marriage.
That is the marriage.
The difficult part.
Most difficult part. But then let's just head on with it. We actually made a list, just so you know. Like I said, we made a lot of research. So we made a list and we decided to come do it because we want to cover everything. Okay, we want to try and cover everything. Anyways, we can't cover everything.
There is nothing like covering everything in marriage.
So this is something we just started. If you want us to do more of it, then you can leave your opinion on the comment section below, and definitely we'll try to make maybe around 2 or part 2 of this video, or even more. It could be a series or something. So today, first we want to talk about what to know before marriage. What should we know before marriage, Mariya?
I think we should start with the most important, and I think the most important is sex.
Oh,
the most important.
sex. I remember my guardians and counselor, teacher during secondary school. She would just come, and my school were all girls, but then our teachers, we do have male teachers, and then she would come to the assembly ground and be like, okay, let's talk about sex. And then,
Everybody will shy
and
away.
then that's I'll be like, oh,
Why is she saying that? Yeah, with all the boys and all
with
the
all
male
the
teachers.
male teachers. So talking about sex, you know that in our society there is no room for talking
Yeah,
about
talking
sex.
about it, that we are supposed to start from sex education. That's when we're children. But then that doesn't happen. That hardly happens. Very few homes. For me, I'm trying to understand how to go about it with my children, but I'll ask around. But then many homes do not have that. So it's supposed to start from there if possible. But then if you haven't had that, if you haven't had sex education while being a child, you can start by asking around. You could ask around, you could read books about what sex is, because marriage, I think if you're married and there is no sex in that marriage, that's a sex, that's marriage, right? If there is no sex in that marriage, it's basically you're just roommates.
Yeah,
Because
flatmates.
yes, you are, because what differentiates you? It's not like you don't eat in your parents' house. It's not like you don't clean the house. It's not like you don't talk with them. It's not like you don't cuddle or anything. You do a lot of things. In here, you do it with your sisters, with your friends, with your mom, with your dad. The only thing you don't get in your parents' house is that sex.
That's true.
So you should know how to go about this sex when you are in that marriage.
That is super true.
What do you expect? What is the sex itself? To begin with, they'll just tell you, and you feel pain for the very first time. It's
Who
not
tells
just-
you? Who even tells you you feel pain? Those
Few
will
of
be your friends.
Few of your friends
Yes.
that are married. None of your aunts will tell you. None of your elder sisters that are married will
sit
tell
down
you. None
and
of your
explain it
parents
to
will
you.
tell you. Or your mother's friends. All those people that prepare you and give you all the kaya mata. And surprisingly, they would give you kaya mata without telling you
What
this-
is being used
No,
for.
this is to tighten. No, this is to sweeten. No, this is to... Nobody tells you any of that.
Exactly.
But
I
then
don't
they give
know
you
why.
a lot of them. And
I don't
take you
know why.
blindfolded to the husband.
No, I think sometimes, I think most African parents just decide to leave you to go and learn that on yourself. Like, go. I'm not supposed to talk about this with you. Just
Why
go.
won't you talk about that?
Because
Who
I
am
feel
supposed to talk
sometimes,
about that
okay,
with?
exactly. Sometimes you could have
With
parents
the
that,
husband?
right from, say, your puberty, they will start explaining what sex education is to. So they will scare you of sex.
Yes,
Because
yes,
you're
yes.
not supposed to have
To have sex,
premarital
you're not
sex.
married.
Yeah, okay. But then the moment that it is said that okay, you're marrying someone, he has come and done all the official thing before marriage. I feel like your mom, mothers, your dad, even for people that grew up with,
you
being
keep
a
the
father,
queen aside.
yeah, exactly. And when we're talking about sex education, it's basically for men and women. Don't think it's only for the girls that we're talking about. No, it's for both genders.
It's both of you that are going to have the sex. Would she have sex to have with herself alone in the marriage house?
And you would be surprised because honestly, I think majority of marriages that tend to, break is it comes down to sex.
Yes,
Majority,
it does.
it comes down to sex.
It does.
Because sometimes it's the man that does not even know what to do
In the marriage.
in the marriage, in sex. And when he comes and the woman is like trying to do something and then he'll be like, what is this? You're spoiled. Are you a prostitute or something?
It's catchy.
You know?
And it's not like you've done it. Some people are really innocent, but then they read far and wide. They read. It's not like they've experienced it, but then you've read something and you want to try it out.
Exactly.
And then when you want to try it out, and then the husband says he shuns away from it. He says, "Okay, it's catchy," or "Where did you learn that?" or "I thought you were innocent." All that, it makes you stop trying.
Yes, you won't
And
try
if you
anymore.
do not try,
The marriage starts dying. The marriage
the
starts
sex
dying.
would be boring. It's always this. It's always this. You're not doing anything else. How would you enjoy it? It's supposed to be enjoyable.
I
do this today. Tomorrow you try.
I think girls, we tend to talk about this more. So
To our friends' girls.
So maybe that's why our parents tend to just leave us to it. But men don't do that. Men don't talk.
That's true.
And when they don't talk, they go into that marriage blindfolded when it comes to that sex, and it is a massive problem. For us ladies, we could just sit down and then talk about this. I remember a story. A woman was sitting with her friends, and as usual, they kept talking about sex and then the pleasure of it, the aftermath and all. And she was just looking. At that point, they've been friends, just so you know, and they've been talking about all this things. So at that point, she got frustrated and she was like, all these things you people are talking about orgasm and all that, do you know that I have never experienced it in my life?
And how long has she been
And
married?
she has been married for over 10 years, about close to 15. She has 5 kids, and she has never experienced orgasm.
She is of the patient ones.
And she never
of
knew
the
that there was
patient one.
pleasure that could come out of it. All she
So
knows
it's
is that
just to
the
just have
man
sex.
is having the pleasure. She was groomed.
So it's work.
Yes, she was, exactly. It was just part of her responsibility as a married woman.
So you clene the house and then you
come and
lay down, and then he does, and then he
whatever,
enjoys, and then you wash off. That's all.
Exactly.
That's sad.
That's super sad. So her friends got
more than 10 years.
So her friends were so sad. They cried, hugged her, because they know that marriage is an equal thing. Whatever the man is getting, the woman should also get it. But people don't know that.
Especially
that. I remember when one of my friends was getting married. If you notice, that's the essence of this bridal shower that,
Yes, you just about that.
That is the time that people would share their friends that have more experience, the married ones, the single ones, and they would come and sit and talk about it. So we were doing some practical, and I was doing some. That was before my wedding. Should I say before my marriage? Because the marriage is the most important thing.
Not the wedding.
Not the wedding. And one of my friends, the one that was getting married, she knows me. We tend to read books because books was the main thing that taught me.
Yes,
about sex.
you read, and they explain it
in details.
So you it in your head.
Exactly, you visualize it in your head. So when I was describing, making some funny jokes and all that, she was like, "Look at what she's doing." Let me tell you, she doesn't know anything. There is no practical. It's just based on what she read. Like she's trying to explain to my friends, like, okay, she's maybe because she knows some of her friends could be a bit judgmental. So she was trying exactly. So she was trying to explain to them that no, I'm a good girl. I don't
see that she is doing that.
Yes, it's just because she read books, because we know each other, and I feel if she has that thought of women even thinking that you've done it before, then imagine how your husband has never been groomed.
And there are women that I read something yesterday, I think, that she has been married for a while. When she got married at first, she lost her hymen already. So it's not like she's not a virgin. She is a virgin, but then she doesn't have that closing that they pop and then see the blood and then make sure she is a virgin. So up till now, she's been married for like 7 years. Up till now, it becomes an issue. He actually cried that who was in there before him. And she said no one. She's been a virgin all the time. So the man does not know that. Not just that covering is the virginity, and not just that bleeding, because you could be covered and then there won't be a bleeding.
That's true.
And you could bleed for a little while and then it's confusing. So the man, that her own husband that she's been married to for 7 years, still does not believe. She made research. She showed him that you could lose your hymen by climbing trees, doing the heavy lifting. She told him all that. She showed him evidence from her research, but still he did not believe it. So imagine. She is married to him and he thinks she is not a virgin. While she is, it's not. You are punishing the wife because he still uses it against her. They are still married, they're still together, but then he uses it against her.
It's horrible.
Sad.
That is so sad, honestly.
And what do you think would happen to other people that do not? I don't blame some people for saying they won't be a virgin up to when they're married. Because even at the end of the day, they might say, the husband might say, she wasn't a virgin. No matter how much of a virgin she was. So the husband should even know what a virgin is. It's not just the hymen, it's not just the bleeding, it's not just the pain she feels, because there are surgeries now. You could
let me even explain a bit to them. Okay, there is definitely I would invite my sister who is a nurse to come sit down and talk about this more. But then she explained to me how this hymen thing works. Okay, there is thick hymen and there is the, let's say, middle, just not too thick and not too thin, and then there is one that is extra thin, very very tiny, because hymen is just like a zenith. Should I say, is it zenith?
Cover,
like a cover, like, yes, should I say, like a veil. Okay, so is some of it's just like, say, this satin material. It's very light, so anything could just poke into it and go through easily. And then some are a bit thicker, and then some are extra thick. So sometimes it depends on bleeding. And what causes bleeding is not really the punching of the hymen
during the virginity.
Yes, what causes it is a force punching. When someone enters too hard.
God help.
Exactly, and then maybe it's extra thick, then it would punch it and start bleeding. But if someone has a thin hymen, and then the penetration is extra smooth. Yes, smooth and
there's
gentle.
lubrication.
There is like 95% chance that you will not bleed. It is a fact. So when someone
so it's not, you're not a virgin.
It's not, you're not a virgin, and we all know that that was why our parents tend to limit activities like for women on for the girls, unlike the boys. You'll be stopped from riding a bicycle, from climbing trees. From secondary school we're always asked not to jump the gutter, you know, but we were still doing it.
You do that. You don't hear what.
But we're still doing it. So basically, those are the things that people need to know. And if you don't know it, it will be a problem.
In your marriage, because it's a problem in her marriage.
Trust. Yeah, exactly. And when your husband does not trust you for over 7 years, that's hurtful.
And he still uses it against her.
That's hurtful.
It's that bad.
No, that's not okay.
And she made research and showed him, and he did not even consider the research. So it's just his closed-minded. He's not open-minded to the possibility that she's not a bad girl.
Please go make research. Go make research so that you can get to have this happy marriage. And when we talk about sex, like I said, it's really broad. When you want to know more about sex, when you want to get married, why you should know more about sex is because nobody know what to expect. Exactly. When you go into marriage and yes, you're a virgin, you've never had sex before,
you've never seen the thing,
and exactly. And let's just have an example. Sometimes both the couples could not have any sex experience, even the guy and the girl, and then sometimes it could be that the woman is the virgin and the man is not. So he has an experience at least. While sometimes it could be that the woman is not the virgin and then the man is. So when it comes to this, because I've had many situations and I sit down to, we always talk. So sometimes the person that is the expert has to be the patient one. So that automatically makes you a teacher. You teach your partner.
At least you know something.
And this thing should have been taught, way before marriage. That is something that we need to know. We need to know that you need to learn about sex before marriage.
It's not about you want to become a Iska because you're married or you're eager, you want to go and have sex. It's not about that. It's eventually when you get married, you're going to have that.
You're going to have
so
it.
know what that sex
it's
is.
a good thing after marriage.
Go about it.
It's a good thing
after marriage. Yeah. So know it. Don't go blindly into the marriage and then he says, come, let me hug you, and then you're saying I'm not a bad girl or something like that. It does not make sense.
It doesn't make sense. Now, just so you know, we know that once in a while it's okay to just form all this. I'm a shy kind of person. It's more like role playing. You can even role play. Nobody has taught you about sex for you to even know that there is something called role playing.
in sex.
So I feel like we're trying to send this message out because we know that our parents have made that mistake already of not talking to us about sex before marriage, but then right now we want to change it. Let's start with our generation. Let's we the future mothers
and the elder sisters
and the elder sisters. Exactly.
Right, so we're talking to the younger sisters now
because I feel like the parent and the sisters would relate more, would explain it more. Some. But everyone should try it. Everyone should do that.
And it's your responsibility. In case your sister is not the open type, in case you have this closed-minded sister, so she wouldn't judge you. Like, you go and see him. Please talk to someone you trust. You could talk to one of your aunties.
Yes.
You could talk to some of your friends that are married. You could talk to someone trustworthy, someone that would put you through properly. Not someone that would spoil you and all after, but then try to know something. Don't go in knowing blindly. Even knowing nothing.
No, Mariya, even if you don't want to know about sex, like while you are dating, immediately that's preparation, or should I say, you've made it official that you're getting married. Your family, you've been introduced to each other's family, then you should know at that point
it has been fixed.
Yes, it has.
Eventually, you have that.
That is the time you make research. I know that it is said somewhere that Sudanese tend to do this more. That immediately everything is more close to getting married.
People do that. Immediately they have a girl, they give birth to a girl, they start training her. The way they walk, the way they cook. When I don't know if they tell them it's so when you get married you do this. I don't know, but no, this Sudanese, it is said that they will send you, for the guys, they will send you to an elderly man, yes, and then for the lady, they will send you to this old woman that would groom you on everything about marriage, including sex education. So, we all know that the grannies are the people that are not shy like that. So, when it comes to, they see a little girl, so they are open, they say it in the most dirtiest way that it will get to you, because so that you don't understand,
so that you don't understand.
Because
exactly.
it's bad that you go into, but Some
they say,
people
okay, wear
say-
something skimpy when your husband is touching you, and also touch him, support him, do something. This is
Show him you are enjoying. If he does something you enjoy, show him you enjoy it so that he would do it more often.
Yes.
And you could talk. You could actually sit down. This is before we were talking about before marriage, but then we're also talking about after marriage. You could sit down and talk about this marriage. You talk about the things you like. You talk about the things you don't like. You talk as a lady. You talk to your husband. Make him understand that you need more time, because as ladies, we need more time. And as guys, you need to know that we just do not we don't just come. That's what's the name?
The orgasm.
We don't orgasm after penetration. We don't reach that climax just because you've penetrated 1, 2, 3. No matter how high
It's
you
for
do
the
it,
guys.
it's
That's
not,
for the guys. That's for the
That's
guys.
not just sex.
For women, it is said that foreplay is more of the sex for women.
It
Foreplay.
really is.
It is said that
It really
it's
is.
like over 60%. It is for the
I
women.
read somewhere that a lady could reach climax when you touch her clitoris.
Yes.
80% of ladies.
That's true.
That's more than half.
That's true.
Not through 80% of ladies do not reach orgasm just because of penetration,
penetration.
but they do reach that climax
That's-
when you
that's
touch
clitoris.
the
The
clitoris. So please read
It's the
about
power
it.
for a woman. So make
Yeah,
research.
those getting married, those
Men,
that are
make
married
research.
and have not yet had sex. It's sad, but then you could change it. It's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the marriage, and you don't have to leave the marriage. You just have to open up and talk to your husband. Open up and
That's
talk
true.
to your to-be husband.
Yes, to be husband, the moment you are set to marry, there is nothing like
Yeah, I know
shame
a bad
again.
girl. Please,
Sit
you're a
down
good
and
girl.
talk about this.
You're planning your future. You're taking care of your future. It's not your bad girl. Please.
So when it comes to after sex, right? Because I feel like if we're going to talk about sex, it would take the whole day.
Yes.
Okay, so
It won't
after
be
sex,
enough.
what else should one expect in marriage?
You should talk
Before
about
marriage.
your finances. You should talk about your finances. You should
Before
talk about-
marriage.
Yes, before marriage. Please.
GM, come and say hi.
When
That's our GM. AZ, come and see the almighty AZ that we used to call in our program.
there's a nice thing.
Hi.
That's our camera fan. Okay, so next we'll be talking about finance. Yeah.
Yes.
Also, for when you're talking, when you meet a man and then you are ready to get married, you have to talk about finance. How much do you earn? How much do I earn? How are we going to share the responsibilities? Are we sharing? Are we not? Am I holding on to my money? And then you would
You
sponsor
spend
the
on all of us. That's the typical Ariwa. That's the typical Ariwa family. His money is our money.
Yes.
But then my money is my money.
No, that's how
I could
that's
spell
how religion
out-
stated it.
Oh, that's really
Yes, that is religion. Religion
That's
stated it. Her money is
It's
her money.
Except when
She decides to. And we all know that in this generation, women tend to contribute, even if it's without carrying the money to be like, hubby, I love you, think.
You
Take.
could give the
But
children,
then-
you could
yes.
buy for the children, you could spend on yourself, you're spending on him.
Exactly.
Because if you don't spend on you, he would have to spend on you.
That's true. So you have to talk about this in details.
You have to understand, you have to talk not just under the finance. You should, let's say you did not go to school. Okay, let's even say you went to school. You should talk about if he would let you work eventually.
That's true.
And if he's not going to let you work, how would you get money? Because you need to earn money. It's not you need to earn money so you would be rich and then you would disrespect him or anything. It's you earn money so that you could also stand on your own for the future. Anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
Unforeseen circumstances. He could not die. We're not just talking about if he dies. He could be alive, out of work.
Yes.
Maybe he's a business person. Everything burns down. We're not hoping for that. But then we have to think
Unforeseen.
of the
That's
future.
life.
We have to think of the reality. And these things happen. Sometimes the husband is the sole provider and he dies. Sometimes he gets incapacitated. He could lose his feet. He can't go to work as before. He could lose the job. The money for the business could get lost. Everything and anything can happen. So it's not you talk about the possibility of something like that happening and how you could support the family. You could support the family for a few months or weeks before he gets back on his
That's
feet.
true.
You could
I
support
know a
the
woman that
family
supported
if
her
he is
husband
dead.
after losing his job for over a year.
Thank you. So you should
And at the end of
talk
the day,
about
he
that.
came back and then he was doing the deliveries because she's a businesswoman. He was helping her. He was now involved
he
in
is
the
doing the
business.
deliveries.
Yes, he was assisting her
Because
because
he's
that was
earning.
the only source of income.
Because there
they
is
were-
no other job for him.
Of
So
course
he
there
was
was no other
employed by her.
Yes, and he appreciated her that helped their marriage.
So you should talk about things like that.
I think that is what is
not just
affecting.
how much he earns or how much you earn.
That is one of the things that is affecting Ariwa. Because you know that even without the insurgency that started, we've lost a lot of men.
Yes.
And then the women are left because most of them didn't go to school. Some that went to school are not working. And then you're left with 5
you
kids,
have
6
no
kids.
skill whatsoever. You have no skill whatsoever. All you can do is you clean the house, you cook the food, that's all. And it's
That's
very
horrible.
sad.
That's so sad.
You should learn a skill, you should work, you should buy and sell, you should do something to earn money, no matter how little it is.
That's true.
And if something should happen, God forbid, you can plan. Even if you get 5,000 a month, you can plan around that 5,000 and you could make a living out of it. It doesn't have to be as comfortable as it was when the husband was alive or when the husband was at work, but then you are moving. It's better than you go to other families and beg.
That's true.
Unless you are contributing,
That is so
you're
true.
bringing something to
So
the table.
finance is something you need to talk about in details. Now, for me, let me use an example. When I was dating my husband, I got married at a really matured age, and at that time I've already dated many guys for me to know exactly what I want. So when he came, I used every opportunity to speak out my mind, to tell exactly what I want and what I cannot take and what to be expected, and we spoke in details
and what you cannot forfeit.
Exactly. So in case of anything, you might be talking about something and then randomly it comes. I'm like, oh, no, that is a deal breaker for me. I'm not. Exactly.
I would not say if that is to happen.
Exactly. So in details, when you talk to someone, like, okay, I know I can do this, I cannot do this. Set it right. Talk. That when they say dating, it's not about for you to just, wear fancy things, go take pictures.
I love you. I love you too. It's not all that. It's not I love you.
No, it's not. It's more than that.
Do not be explaining that how much I love you. It's not helping you. When you get to the marriage, it's not
you can do it. You can continue the I love you process.
And to remind you, the deal when we're talking about deal breakers, you have to explain to the husband what you cannot, as in what if marriage is about sacrifice. Yes, you sacrifice, but then you should tell your husband, you should tell your wife to be, you're not married, to be what you expect, what you cannot take, what you cannot forfeit, what you cannot be patient with. Let them understand and make sure they understand. Make sure. You could write it down. You could go to the court. You could write down. You could
make
get
an
a
agreement.
witness. You could sign. It's that safe. If you could do that for even if you're schooling and then you get married, you could do that for schooling.
Yes. In case of anything, it is okay. It is okay to sign a contract. That is so okay. I know religiously it is super okay for you to sign.
Yes,
see, one thing you should have in mind is that first of all, I think we tend to forget this. First of all, we are getting married based on what religion said. In every religion supports marriage. Like, marriage is the best thing to do. That way you can have your sex, all the sex you want in it. Okay, so when you put that first, then you know the first reason why you're getting married. And that is because it is a religious purpose. Like God said you should do it. Then afterwards, then in that religion, then you try to make, okay, I'm trying to serve God at the same time to make my life happy. To make myself happy with another person. So when you have to know that person, like, front, back, center. Know the kind of family that person came from. Yes, you have to know the kind of family the person comes from. If they are toxic, then expect toxicity. If they, I'm serious. If they are happy family, then expect it, and always check how that person relates with his family, his mom, his dad, his siblings. So even if they're boys, girls, make sure you check. It's how he relates with his family or how she relates with her family. That's the same way she would relate with you or he will relate with you.
And your kids eventually. And your own family.
That's true. So those are the things that you have to put in mind.
There is another thing. Before you get married, you should absolutely understand that love does not sustain marriage. Love alone,
okay,
cannot.
Because I'm a sucker for a romance. I'm like, oh, come on, there is love.
Yes, there is love. You have to. I think you cannot stay in a marriage you could try to stay in an unhappy marriage, but then eventually you cannot stay where you do not love the person. But love alone is not
okay.
enough. That's why we said get to know the person, talk about your deal breakers, talk about sex, what he would do during sex, what he wouldn't want in sex, what your finances. You have to understand the person. And mind you, no matter how much you try to understand a person would definitely
surprise you. Surprise!
A person would definitely surprise you. That is one thing in marriage you should know. You would be surprised at something your husband would eventually say he never liked. Maybe he liked it all while you were dating.
Can we just save that? Can we save that? That's for next. There is what to expect after marriage.
Okay.
Yeah, right now.
Okay.
Let's
Let me
talk
not
about
forget.
before marriage. So yeah, we've tried to cover some things, what to expect, what to know before marriage. Yeah,
Yes.
those are the things you need to know. You need to know someone's religion, purpose, because if you're even from the same religion and then you have to know the strength of the iman of the person you're getting married to. If his iman is not as strong as yours, then
want it to be,
exactly, then you have to start working on it from outside. Make
and
sure that
see how if he's willing
to adjust. If he's not, and you know that it's going to be a deal breaker, then leave. Okay, I'm sure that you would find someone that suits you, and he would find someone that suits him better. So basically, that's it. Next, we'll be moving to friends with opposite sex after marriage.
I am for that, but then there is emotional, what's the name, cheating. There's emotional cheating. So there could be friends that are guys that are kind of we confuse colleagues and friends sometimes. So you could have a guy that is your colleague and also your friend.
That's true.
And I think friendship with the opposite sex after marriage, when you're friends with the opposite sex after you're married, you have to understand that certain things could make you want to cheat. Not really want to cheat, but then could easily make you cheat.
Why do I feel like Mariya is trying to chew it the best she can?
Yes,
like she's been selective with her words.
I want to break it down because it shouldn't be that you cannot be friends with guys, because it's not just about being friends with guys. You see guys all the time. You see guys at work. You see guys in the market. You see guys if you're taking public transport. So you see guys everywhere. So there has to be a way. You have to relate with them, whether you like it or not, whether your husband likes it or not, whether your wife likes it or not. No matter how jealous they are, you have to relate with them. But then when you are friends with those opposite sex, you should understand that there should be a limit, there should be a boundary, there should be things you can discuss, and there should be things you should not try discussing. And being friends with opposite sex after marriage, let's talk about exes. Would you want your husband, let me use that. Would you want your husband to be friends with his ex that he really liked, but then something happened and then they couldn't be together? Would you be okay with that type of friendship?
No, I don't think I would.
Knowing they already have a past together.
No, I think that should be. I think based on movies and experiences of people that we've heard and we've seen, it hardly works. It is one mistake that marriage couples tend to do, because the moment you actually put an ex that you have had feelings for, first of all, you'll make your partner insecure.
That's true.
They'll start getting all what's happening whenever she's around or he's around. There's that fear and all that, and it starts messing up with the trust in your marriage.
Be up to that person.
Exactly.
This person that is here with us, that is here in the family, and an ex could be her cousin.
That's true.
So he is her relation. You cannot say no. She
cousin.
cannot be friends with him. It's not even about friendship. It's about she is related to him. If you don't let her be friends with him, she could eventually go to his mother, who is her aunt. Would you stop her from being friends or being related? So it just has to be, you be friends with the person, but then you understand what you can discuss and where you can discuss, because where you can discuss is also something. You could be friends with that relative even after you're married, but then you should make sure, you should try to for your sanity, for your husband's sanity also, you should be in public places. If you're going out with that relative, you should be with someone or some people. You should just make sure that there is no space
for any misconception or any
or
dirty
whether the
thinking.
husband, whether people around might think. don't give anyone the space to think that. That's if you're being friends with people of the opposite sex, or if you are friends with people of opposite sex.
That's why I feel couples tend to involve their spouse with their friends, especially the opposite sex. Yes.
So they would see nothing is going on.
Exactly, so that they'll feel comfortable. Okay, safe. Okay, I know I can leave this guy with my wife and then I'll be okay. I know I can leave my husband with this lady and I'll be fine.
Nothing would happen.
Exactly. So definitely in everything, when it comes to marriage, in life, there's boundaries for everything. So that's how it works with marriage. First of all, the moment you get married, this person is sacrificing some of the things that he came with. She's also sacrificing some of the things. So you have to work on putting boundaries that would safeguard that marriage.
That's true.
And if it comes to as having opposite sex as friends, then you sit down with him or with her and then talk about it. Okay, I do not feel safe talking about this. It is okay to talk. Sometimes in the process of talking, you people even actually have some argument. That is healthy. That is okay.
Healthy, yes.
That is okay for you to talk about it. Like, I'm not okay with this, but then it's not like this, but I am saying it like this. So how do we compromise? Then you figure out a way to compromise.
There's a friend of my husband's. She is married. She's older than me, and for some reason I still do not feel comfortable whenever he says tenagaishiki. It's not, nothing would happen. I know that she's married, she's older, he's married, he cannot have any relationship with her. But then I don't feel comfortable with her, and he knows it. So sometimes he just jokingly says tenagaishiki.
He wants, look here, I get it. He wants you to know that
nothing is happening.
Nothing is happening. You're
and
safe
I know
because
nothing
I
is
am
happening.
telling
But then
you.
I told him I do not like this girl, this lady. I don't like her. I don't trust her. They had a relationship for a while before, but then I don't like her. I don't feel comfortable
And that
the way
is
you're
okay.
related. And I told him, and he understands. And true to God, he tries to. He doesn't go to her alone.
Yes, he tries to avoid any boundaries.
If she calls on the phone, he puts it on speaker. So I know I'm safe. But then I know I'm safe, and he knows I am not comfortable with her.
But then he can't.
Their relationship that he can't cut off. So he makes it open. He makes me feel safe whenever we're around her, whenever he calls her, because we are kind of family friends with her, so we have to be meeting her, and then he has to be with her. But then for him to understand, I do not feel comfortable
and
with
he's
you
making efforts.
So he's trying.
Yes, that's
so if someone is trying, you should give him
accolades.
Yes.
Like that, there could be an award, like cheers, baby, award.
This woman is so fine, but still you're trying. So thank you. Thumbs up.
Thank you, honey. We appreciate you. So it's just basically talking. Because I know that this is the 21st century, and then things that were happening before are not happening now, and things that are not happening before are happening now, whether we accept it or not. Generation changes, things changes, and right now we're at that point in generation that I think generation is welcoming this. It's okay to have some, or some opposite sex friends, as long as there is that boundary. So you're just talking out with your spouse. Some it's okay. I think at the end of the day you realize that some friends tend to bring business to you, tend to bring progress to you. So it's not
and
okay
they might
for
be
you
opposite
to just,
sex.
and they might be opposite sex. So it's okay for you to just have, depends on your understanding, your relationship with your spouse.
You understand the person, and then if the person has a problem with a particular opposite sex friend that you have, you try to explain to him. If it doesn't work and the relationship could be cut off for the sake of the marriage you're hoping to retain, please cut it off.
Cut it.
Please.
Cut it.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so next, because we have a lot, like I said, to cover.
We made a list.
That will be in-laws. We want to talk about in-laws, relationship with in-laws, boundaries with in-laws, because whether we like it or not,
it has a family.
Whether we like it or not, it's like when you're marrying. There's an African saying that says, when you're marrying him, you're marrying all of his family. When she's marrying him, she's marrying all of your family.
Because we believe in family. Africans believe in family.
Yes,
Your neighbor can
value.
just turn your family.
That's true.
Cut onto a family member.
That's true. That's the difference between us and the Western,
yes.
Right? Because they don't really. No, it's just me. I don't care about your family.
You as a person, you could decide you don't want any relationship with your own family. So it's not even about another person coming in. You on your own could decide you don't want any family members anymore.
That is super true. But then these are things that, right, we need to know, okay? Even though we know that, yes, as you're marrying him, you're marrying his family, or as she is marrying, as you're marrying her, and you're also marrying her family, there has to be boundaries. Because we have seen relationship where the relationship just got ruined and the husband and wife are still in love with each other, but it was family that broke that marriage.
There's actually someone I know that liked a girl. During the introduction, it was asked that her father had a problem with someone with this suitor's name. Let me see, Ahmed. His name is Ahmed Lawal. So this particular father of the girl had problem with someone from that area that this Ahmed Lawal is from.
Okay.
And
just
his
area,
name,
not family.
Yes, not his family. And the father of that girl said he wouldn't give him that girl because it might be that person that he had a problem with sent this Ahmed Lawal to come here, get married to the girl that this person's and hurt her. So it's that bad. That's how
family affects
could intrude. And when he actually said the marriage wasn't going to take place because of that, he's scared, and then he made his research afterwards because the girl still liked the guy, and then the marriage went on. They actually have a baby now.
Oh, that's nice.
That's nice.
But
then
yes,
she got lucky.
Yes,
because that could be it.
It could be. People are vicious these days. But then, when we're talking about family, definitely you should expect they would be involved. You know, they'll be like, "Oh, I want you to get to know my family." It's for your own sanity. For me, I feel it is for your own sanity, for your husband to, for your family to like your husband, for your husband to like your family. It is for his own sanity, for you as the wife to like his family, and then if the relationship is good, it tends to give the couples peace of mind. Okay, but if it is not good, the couples will get affected.
Imagine a scenario: your husband comes to drop you off. He's not on good terms with any of your family members. Maybe just the dad, maybe just the mom, maybe he just greets them. Imagine that situation, that scenario. He's not on good terms with any of your sisters or your brothers, and there's a wedding happening, and he needs to be there as a family member. The Africans, you just have to come. There's nothing like, hey, I'm not friends with them. You just have to come.
That's true.
So he comes and then he makes you miserable because you cannot leave him alone. And then it's your family's wedding. He would be miserable. Exactly. And the family would also not
unlike us, that when I go to my home, my husband is super friendly with my siblings.
Goes to everyone.
I'll just leave them and then go do my stuff. I know that he's happy, and he's okay. So that's a good thing.
And if he's not on good terms, let's not even say he's fighting or not on good terms. Let's just say they don't have anything to talk about or something like that. He would be uncomfortable. Maybe they'll just be talking about. They would have very brief conversation. Yes. There's no friendship.
It would be a
connection.
Thank you.
It would be very serious. It would not be nice. He won't be comfortable. So you might end up spending. You plan on spending the whole day, and you might end up spending 5 minutes.
And before you know, you start avoiding. When you're saying, okay, come, let's go there. You be like,
I've not done anything. I've not even seen Mama. I've not.
No. For example, when you're not in good terms with, or when your husband is not in good terms with your family, whenever he's like, okay, let's go. Whenever you're like, let's go.
You wouldn't want to go.
So
if you go, you wouldn't want to stay for long.
And that's why you see some couples tend to, if they want their marriage to at least work, if they have this troublesome in-laws, they will have to tend to cut off the in-laws to a point that, and then the person that they are cutting off his family would be sad in the marriage.
Yes, that's true.
But they will try to shy away from the in-laws to some point just to protect their marriage, and that's not okay. Why I feel couples want their spouse to know, and like their family is because it tends to give you peace of mind. I always emphasize on that. If the family if your spouse is not comfortable with your family, it leaves you thinking it is you that it will be eating you up. And when something is worrying you, your marriage would definitely start shaking.
Especially family.
So at the end of the day, if you have family that's stressing you, somebody has to bow for you to have peace of mind. And if your spouse is the one that keeps bowing to your family, then there is always that spouse will be sad.
Because he's not getting what
he's not getting what he wants. He has to adjust, and he's not adjusting for you, but the person is adjusting for someone else that is outside that marriage, and that is
which
a problem.
Is not healthy.
It is not healthy at all.
The marriage is for you two, but then you have to live with his family. She has to live. You have to live with her family. So you just have to get along.
So Mariya, now let's talk about the main thing. What or how do you set boundaries between your marriage and your in-laws?
I think you do that before the marriage. It's important. It's vital you do it before the marriage. Let the guy, let your to-be husband, let your husband to be understand that your family, his family, are would not be the boss after you get married to him.
Of your marriage.
It's not his mom. It's not his dad. It's not his elder sisters. It's not his younger sisters. It's not his aunts, it's not his uncles, it's no one. You are married to him. As Muslims, you are to respect your husband. Nobody says disrespect the mother-in-law, but then nobody says kima or mijin kibiyaya. And kima mijin kibiyaya. That means respect your husband, because the marriage is about you and him. You don't disrespect the parents, you don't disrespect his family, but then ultimately he is the one you are married to.
And then he will be the one to lead you to Jannah.
He would be the one to lead the two of you to Jannah, not you, him, his mother, your mother, his... You understand? You get the gist.
I get the point. I hope you get the point.
So you should try, and when fights arise, when misunderstandings, which is very normal in marriage, when misunderstandings arise with your in-laws, you shouldn't be the one. You should not be the one to tell his family, oh, please, I don't want you doing this to me. I feel you shouldn't have to be the one defending yourself, the one saying
that will make them hate you.
Thank you.
That will make them hate you.
It's not right.
It's not.
She is my wife. You as the husband, you are to tell her, I want this, I don't want this. Should your family not want something your wife is doing, I don't think they should address her directly. I don't think it's fair they address her directly. I think it's fair they talk to the husband, who is the Arijalik Awamuna in this situation. And then if he feels, yes, this thing the family, my family members say is wrong, that my wife is doing is really wrong, then he should address it. It shouldn't be they have the right to talk to her because they are not married to her. Why call Sadaki? He gave the Sadaki, he gave the marital. What's the name of the money? They gave you the money. He gave you the money.
The dowry?
It's his money. Thank you, the dowry. It's his money and he gave it to you and it's yours. So the marriage, understand who the marriage is between. It's not between an extended family. Please, it's between you, the husband, the wife, and him, the husband.
For me, right? What I want to say is, the only way for me, I feel, because I know that before marriage, you have to sit down with your spouse, and the first thing you're supposed to tell him, I'm telling you this, like the first thing you and your husband to be or your wife to be need to talk about is, babe, you have family, I have family. If I should start crying to my family about what you do to me, they would hate you. And if you should start crying about what my family do to you, I don't know, you understand? It would be vice versa. And if my family starts crying to me like, your husband to be is like this, is like that, or should I say your husband that would be after marriage is like this, is like that, because no matter what,
the face.
And you give exactly, and you encourage that, then it would start being disrespectful to your spouse, and then your spouse will start hurting, and that would affect your marriage. And at the end of the day, you people would end up separating because of that family, and those family will go out and marry and get their own home and treat their home right, and then you and the one you love have parted,
and
so
you are apart.
No matter what, marriage, honestly, we know there is family, there is love, but that's why it is said that even a mom could give birth to a son, and then at the end of the day, the son would end up with someone as his companion. So marriage brings you that forever companion. When it's with your mom, there is a certain stage of spending years with her. With your dad is the same thing. With your siblings, it's the same thing. That's why when siblings get married, one sibling could be in the USA, another could be in Nigeria, and they are siblings. But then that husband or that wife would be the person that you will spend the rest of your life with. So when you let third party, when you let third party start poking in, whether family, friends, colleagues, whatever, when you let them start poking in your marriage and deciding what to do, it would
what
definitely
to be done, what not to be done.
It would definitely affect your marriage.
Not acceptable.
Exactly.
It's not for them.
Because I feel like both of you are the king and queen of your house. So for someone to come and be like, this flower you put in your house is
color red. Is it not looking like
why won't you put green? And perhaps green is the favorite color of that person, and then it's not suiting you. Or maybe for your wife, she doesn't really care about the color, but then you love red and you want it there, and your wife doesn't care. So basically, that's why you put the red and you're okay with it. But then her sister comes along and be like, I don't like this red. Why don't you put green now? Green will look better. I'll be like, that is none of your business. This is not your house. This is not your marriage. So stay out of it
from the very beginning.
And that is how it should be. The husband should defend the wife when it comes to his people. The wife should defend her husband when it comes to her people. If you don't put that limit, trust me, it's going to affect. And sometimes the family could be doing it without.
It's going to break the marriage.
It's not
affecting only.
That's true. And sometimes the family could not be doing it out of, say, bitterness or something, but they're doing it unknowingly. And guess who has the responsibility of stopping them? You. So the moment your people start coming to interfere in your marriage, like, your marriage should work like this, your marriage shouldn't work like that, you have to be the one to stop it. Like, it should, please.
The day the first time they say it, the first time you put a stop to it. You don't have to.
Exactly.
Let me go and think over it. Let me see. Let me do. Let me turn. Let me ask her. Let's talk with her.
Because that will be encouraging.
Yes, and you could actually, if it's something bad, you could actually tell your family members, no, I don't like that. Don't talk about. Yes. Remove your eyes from my home. You could decide and come and talk about that particular thing. Maybe
but
you
without
never noticed.
Them.
But then you did not encourage. That's kind of in Hausa there is kawo magana mutane. So it's even bad. You teach your child. You teach your child not to do that. You don't come again from outside. He sees something outside. He comes and tells you. It's kind of gola, and that's hypocrisy.
That's hypocrisy, gossip, and unnecessary.
It's not a good it's not a good thing in a person. So you could tell them it's not a good thing in a person.
If not, when you accept it, it starts becoming
even
a
if
problem.
It's a bad thing. Yes, you talk to your person, your spouse about it afterwards, but then don't let them keep telling you. Don't let them tell you a second time.
Because the thing is, when they complain about this, because like I said, the spouse you're marrying came from different family, different upbringing, different town, and
different personality.
Yes.
You as a person has.
And then when you marry, it is typical of African family to want that spouse of yours, whether a guy or a lady, to be exactly as your family. And that's where the main problem comes, because when you put that, you start.
Why did you not find your cousin?
And you tell her?
Why did you not marry your sister? Is like
exactly, So that tends to bring problem. I remember a movie that I watched here. Typically, the name of the movie is Boundaries. It's a Nigerian movie. And what happened was the mom came unexpected, started staying with them. Barely 6 months of marriage. This couple are in love. Okay, and then the mom usually, let's even assume it's okay for her to just, nobody is sick. She just came to frustrate them. She's this woman that is used to controlling her home, so she wants to come and control her son's home. You and I know there are women like that.
And she wouldn't want someone to control her home.
Nobody would want that. Nobody wants to control or someone to control their own home. But then some people...
They're very okay with controlling other people's
But then some people, even... I've seen situations where my friends, it is sisters that frustrate them. Yes, a sister will come and be like... if to some extent, it even got disrespectful that in front of the wife or in front of the husband, they'll be like, this is your husband, Seth. Why even... you said, no, so you're supposed to... Are you not supposed to do this? And I'm like, then what did you do? Because immediately, if someone should disrespect my husband like that in front of me, and my husband worst, I'll be like, stop.
Don't do that.
I am not giving my siblings room to discuss my husband or to tell what my husband is going to do.
He is my husband. I saw him like that. I liked it like that, and I am staying like that.
If we're talking about what happens between you and I as my sister or as my family, then let's do that.
That's a different thing.
In this story that I was telling you, the mom came, and then before you know, they were okay with it. They are both they both work, right? So what happens is, I think her work brings her a bit late than him. So when he comes, they're already used to the routine. She always cook and stuff it in fridge, which is what is happening in this 21st century to majority of family. You do and stuff it in fridge, and then you just go. That is normal. So when he comes back, he just get the food and do that, and she does everything, and it is okay. See, what do we need to expect to know, right? No matter how horrible the marriage in your own sight that you're seeing, if it works for the couple, it is none of your business.
Leave them be. Everybody, something can be ugly in your face, but beautiful
in the person, in the owner's face. That's why it is said beauty.
They are eyes of the beholder. The beauty of their marriage is in their eyes, not your own.
So when the lady starts coming back, as usual, the mom will be like, "Ah, you're coming back late. What is it? How can you do this?"
So she's suspecting. She's making the husband suspect she's sleeping around.
She's already building doubt. And the husband did not even agree with the mom. But then he was tolerating it. The woman definitely cannot disrespect his mom. The woman cannot, fight his mom.
We're Africans.
Exactly.
We're respectful.
So she can't. The woman cannot defend herself to the mom.
And the husband already knows what's happening.
There was a time that her mom said, "I want her to come," and she's like, "Mom, we're barely 6 months. This is not the right time for you to come." So she was expecting her husband to do that. Her husband said he did that, but the mom still came. That was the first problem. Because if I should defend you from my family side, I need you to do the same for me. And then when he came, definitely, we all know how relationship is with parents. So he loves his mom. And exactly, everyone.
She also loves her mom, but then she said you can't come.
Exactly. Now. So he decided to whenever it happens, the mom would insult her. Sometimes the mom would take water, pour on her. It was
mother.
Yes, it was getting more. She was disrespecting the wife more each day because there was nobody stopping her from doing it. Whenever she does that, the husband will be like, "Mom, mom," and then the woman would just tolerate it and go inside the room. And then the woman would cry.
Mom what?
And then when the woman is crying, he comes to her, pets her. "I'm sorry. I know she's my. Please, just know that she's my mom. Just tolerate her a bit." He kept doing that. The woman was tolerating it, feeding it. She wasn't happy anymore. She started avoiding her home.
That's true.
She wants to leave the house early
and come back
very late in order to avoid the mom. But still, the woman, she frustrated the girl to the point that the girl actually quitted her job. She was sad. And her quitting the job started affecting their marriage because they were fighting all day. She's in the house. She started noticing things that she shouldn't notice. And even after quitting the job, she wasn't pleasing the mom. At the end of the day,
it's not the job that was the problem.
It wasn't the job that was the problem. The mom is just used to controlling her son's life. So him now coming to have someone else to share that life with was bugging her. So she had to come and destroy it. So at the end of the day, the wife told the husband, "You know what?" She was crying to the point that she was shouting and the mom was hearing. She said, "There should be boundaries. And you did not set that boundaries between me and your mom. And I am tired because I am supposed to be happy. I try to make myself happy, but your mom is hell-bent on making me sad. So I am done with this marriage." At the end of the day, the mother...
And he loves him and
she loves her husband.
And he loves
they were crying and hugging each other, but it was a good bad. And then when she left, he realized that the mom, all of a sudden, the mom was bringing another girl.
To what?
To come and marry. And at the end of the day, he can't marry his mom. So when she brought another... So when she brought another woman and then she was trying to make the guy, fall in love with the girl. The guy didn't, but just for peace of mind, he was sad. The mom noticed he was extra sad and all that. And when he started, just smiling to the girl, she became horrible to that same new girl that she brought herself. So he knew his mom had a problem.
So what do you want? You want me to live with you alone forever and ever?
And
amen?
That was when he grew I don't want to say ball, but he grew the guts to tell his mom "Mom, there is boundaries. You're my mom and I love you, but whatever happened in my marriage, if I don't bring it to you that I need your advice, do not put your opinion in my marriage, except I ask for it. Stay out of it and all that." It was a pent-up aggression, so he got to...
You could advise, but do not enforce.
Do not enforce.
I love all our enforcement agents, mother.
Do not enforce. You need to let these people. That's why our sometimes in what they say, allow people to make their own mistake. All you can do is advise them. They learn from it. But then for you to enforce and be like, no, your wife is doing this. No, your husband is doing this. It's
or
not
you must
okay.
Marry this particular husband.
That is
horrible.
particular
wife.
That's true.
We are to respect our appearances, but then the parents should understand that we have to respect them because religion said it, because the Lord said it. But then you want your child to be happy. So understand that some things you want to enforce and
would make them sad,
would make them miserable, will make them suicidal at some point. You should understand that and think when you want to advise or enforce. You should think twice.
That's true. You two would decide what you want and what works for you.
The relationship is yours, the two of you.
Period. So next, what we're going to talk about next would be rape in marriage. Do you believe that there is rape in marriage?
Yes. There is.
But do you know that?
What is
90% of African men do not believe that there is rape in marriage?
Do not know. Not believe.
Okay, do not know, yeah?
They don't even know. And then
but what?
Tell them, they will say it's not true. So
But
they don't believe.
Okay, what is the definition of rape?
Of rape, yes. It's using force. Once you use force in sex, when you force someone, when you force yourself on someone, whether you're the girl, whether you're the guy, if you force yourself on someone, whether it's gay or lesbianism, if you're forcing the person into sexual relations,
and that person is not interested.
Yes, that's automatically rape.
No means no.
If she says she's tired,
that is rape.
And you insist you must do it,
that is rape.
Yes.
So there's sometimes some men will be like, yeah, but I didn't force her. Like a woman could actually tell you, see, I'm not interested, and you'll be like, no, it's my right as your husband.
I paid the dowry.
So she will just lie down and open up for you, like, fine, just. She like, no, you use, no, I'm your husband. So what she will do is just to lie down and open up for you, like, fine, do whatever you want to do. You might see it as not rape, but honestly, that is rape. You're raping her because she's not enjoying it at all. And then to some point, then that's when people tend to use violence. A husband would hold his wife. What is it to some extent? He'll even slap her. You're my wife. I own you. I own you. And yes, I own you.
Did you buy her?
They both now. They feel dowry is like buying chicken or a ram. And then he'll.
Oh, there are people that even use the term, I paid with my money for. So that means you bought
and then
her.
I haven't seen, even in Africa, I haven't seen a situation where the dowry has been, say, 1 million. Not to even talk of 10 million that I'll be like, yes,
or 50 million.
Of 100 million to say yes,
or
you actually bought me. You know?
If you are to pay for the services your wife does for you at home, okay, calculate how much you're paying your driver, and then she drives the children all the time. Calculate how much you're paying the cleaner. Calculate how much you're paying the gardener. Calculate the plumber, because some wives do some minor plumbing jobs.
That's true.
Calculate the washing, the folding.
We haven't even gotten to the point of holding the pregnancy for 9 months.
It for 9 months. The sleepless nights, the breastfeeding. So you cannot say I bought you. You did not even pay half the money. Nah, you just give a token.
A token. That's the right word. It's a token, and religiously it is said that it is a token because
yes, it is.
You cannot
pay her for her services.
Yes, you cannot pay for a woman. You can't buy a person, a human being. You cannot buy a woman,
especially a wife.
Except if you're a human trafficker.
Yes, then you can buy and sell.
But then, honestly, there is rape, and this issue is something that Africans need to know. Nigerians need to know. Arewa, the northern part of Nigeria, need to know about this because people are in denial, saying that it is not rape. Like she's my wife. Why will I rape her? Why, whenever I ask her to come to me, or I come
the
to
prophet said that even if we are on the camel,
yes, enter your wife.
She should come.
Your wives are like your farm.
Yes, you bring all the hadith without explaining, especially if the wife doesn't know, that doesn't have the knowledge. You don't just say something. You don't just say, hey, Anabi said that if I say you should come, even if we are on a camel, there's a hadith like that. Even if you're on a camel, you cannot tell me, no, you should just say, okay, sir, something like that.
And that's how they decide to translate it. That's why when God actually brought a book, as a message. He sent the message with a messenger so that the messenger would explain more. So when you see something in the Holy Scripture, Bible, Quran, it's not about it's exactly how it is. That's why there are pastors, that's why there are imam. Yes, someone would explain it in a more broader sense, because we all know the scripture's language is different from our normal language.
If we pick it to, if we as the humans, as the followers of the whatever religion, if we pick the scriptures as they are, we would, as human beings, we would explain it and interpret it to suit our agenda, to
selfish
suit
mind.
Us. Yes, it's very normal. So the God that sent the scripture doesn't expect that, so he sent someone to explain it the way he meant it. So for you to just use, and then you tell her, the angels will curse you from this night till the morning. No person wants the curse of the angels.
That's
not
true.
to talk of the curse of the creator, the creator himself. So she'll definitely bend. You're manipulating her, and there's manipulation.
That's selfishness. That's wickedness.
Sex.
Yes, that's selfishness. And at the end of the day, we tend to forget this thing. It's not, marriage is not all about one party. It's about two. Both of you are supposed to enjoy it. So the moment one person is not enjoying a certain thing,
you will end up not enjoying it.
Exactly. So it's if one person is not enjoying it, it's like both of you aren't enjoying it, whether we like it or not. So please, there is rape in marriage. No man should rape his wife if she's not interested. And no woman should come and be like, come here, come.
Some women drug the husbands
to the point of that's horrible.
Because the guy getting erection is involuntary. So if she drugs him and then he feels kind of lazy or too, I don't know.
He can't fight her off.
Yes, he cannot fight her. He can't make her stop because he is drugged. She uses that. She gets him aroused and does what she wants.
That's horrible.
So there is also rape. The ladies could also rape the husband.
Yes, of course. It's both ways. So please, I do not agree. I do not agree with that. I'm sure Mariya does not agree with that as well.
How can I agree?
Rape is horrible.
Forceful sex.
We've seen
it's supposed
women
to be enjoyable.
Exactly. We've seen women cry to their friends about, he rapes me all the time. He rapes me.
Why won't you come gently with the love? Where is the love?
Where is the love? Exactly. Someone was saying
all the time.
I got married and I have, like, my husband has never even tried to role play me. I feel raped all the time. All the time.
No fault.
There is no pleasure. There is no kissing. Starting with just to get one in the
mood. Even start with a simple word. You are looking sexy today, even if she's not looking sexy.
That's
if you're in the mood, you manipulate.
Foreplay could be, talking dirty or something.
Yes, you could do that. That's before the time to have the sex.
Or role playing. But people do not do that, and that's really sad.
When I heard to it,
I was like, in this 21st century.
Does he enjoy it?
You feel your husband is raping you because you're not enjoying it, and he always comes with force. He doesn't care about your pleasure. Who does that? How can one person be that selfish?
How can he enjoy it?
How can some people are maniacs. Some people are crazy. They're enjoying violence in sex.
Oh, that's the enjoyment.
Yes, for some people,
okay, but like those.
But it makes one is sick. It makes one person sick.
Yes, the sub and the dom. What's their name? They're in this BDSM.
Okay, yes.
So
there is dominant, and then there's
the dominant and the submissive.
Submissive.
It should be mutual agreement. You should
if
agree.
You want to do an aggressive part,
it
should be.
And it could be you could have it once in a while if that's his sexual fantasy. So you could fulfill that. You could do it once in a while, and then you could have the safe words. It's not haram in the religion. The Westerners do it, but then it's not haram.
All that, yes.
It's not haram. So you do it, but then you put boundaries. You should have safe words. You should.
If you're in pain, you could say red, or pineapple, or something. Put in that
safe
balance.
Have the fun. It's for you. Sex should be for fun. You should have fun, and then you should also be safe. So don't just force her. Do not force him. Don't manipulate them. Where is the love? Seriously, where is?
You just reminded me of Black Eyed Peas song. Where is the love? Honestly, but this isn't something we're supposed to laugh about. But
it's not funny.
Yeah, but we're laughing because all serious and how do they say it? All work and no
play makes Jack a dull.
But women are experiencing this. Men are also experiencing this. Society has actually made it that we cannot share, and especially for the men. A man is supposed to show that I am a man by not complaining, by swallowing everything, tolerating everything, and then that's why most men nowadays you just see someone slump.
Yes, very normal.
You see a man slumping to die. Some will just be resting and then they'll die because there's so much trouble, and society did not give them room to actually voice their worries, because we know a problem half shared. A problem shared so rather is half solved. Yeah.
There's a guy I know of. He slumped at work. It was very well when he left. He had 2 wives. I don't know. They're giving him headache, maybe for our extended family. But then he just slumped.
Or work or something. But then
because there's no one to share. Because he's a guy, you're supposed to be all serious. You're supposed to take everything in. They bring their demands. You just have to take it in and make provision for whatever.
Yeah, you're supposed to be the solution for everything in the house, and then nobody is there for you.
Nobody is.
That's horrible. It's so horrible. It's not encouraging. So please, no rape should be done for the man or the woman. Just make sure. Marriage is about love, so show the love. Like Mariya said, where is the love? Yeah, like we said, marriage is quite broad, but what we want to just round up with, because there is no time, like I said, it is really lengthy. What to expect after marriage? Let's just round up with that. Yeah.
For me, I've been married for close to 5 years.
Oh,
I would say expect everything. Expect the worst. Expect the most unexpected thing you can think of. Think of the worst marriage you can ever. You're not praying for yourself. We're not hoping for that. Think of the worst marriage you've ever heard of.
The worst thing that can happen.
Yes, and think it can happen to you. And think fast on how to act when that thing happens to you. That's marriage. That's things happen after marriage.
For me, I would say Allah has the idea, but okay. For me, I would say what to expect after marriage is not to expect anything. It is basically the same thing with what Mariya is saying, but then my mindset, I did not use the word expect. Rather, I decided to use the word not expect. So most things when it comes to our normal generation, unlike before, our parents went into marriage knowing what marriage is. I think they were even taught to just embrace marriage as just a sacrifice for you not to be happy for the rest of your life.
Yes, something like that. Yes. Something very close to that.
That is what our parents were taught. So for us, we enjoyed watching Cinderella and Prince Charming.
After.
Happily ever after, happiness, no fighting,
communication, all the fictions,
and of course there are beds and crocodiles been singing together for you,
and butterflies in our stomachs.
Oh, you know the tune that you do when there is that love at first sight, when the eyes will be like this, and then the animals will be singing, and then they'll be like,
and then the spotlight will be on the two of you, on the both two of you.
So this generation tend to go into marriage with that sort of
roses.
It is all best. Like the way he is wooing you while you are dating
continues.
Yes, it should continue the same way. But
no, it would. Should is
outside people say Ido Wakarina, like what the Nasabagani Kulon. That means when you tend to see someone often, the value of that person tend to reduces. Not really say value, but then it's just the value.
Kind of value.
Yeah, the way you embrace it. It's like you bought a new clothes.
See someone.
If you buy a new clothes, you're seeing it. It's like, oh my god, this is beautiful. But then after wearing it for some days or even years,
you want something else.
Yes, exactly. So even if you don't want something else, you wouldn't. It wouldn't be as exciting as the first.
Yes.
So it's just normal. It's human beings. That's how God created us. So basically, a man wooing you, the same tactics he used while wooing you will not be the same tactics he will use while keeping you, because you're already his wife.
So someone said no campaign after election.
Exactly.
So they use that. They even tell you that.
And it's both ways.
Yes,
it is
it's
both
true.
ways.
You don't try the makeup you do when he's coming before.
Exactly.
The welcome, the cooking, the energy you put into it. Everything is
as
not,
a woman.
is not as much as when it was before you got married.
That is so true. So I think with that, we're not saying that there is no room for keeping up with exactly what you're doing, but then when you do not have that expectations, it's easy for you, like jejely. That is you saving yourself any heartache, disappointment, because that's what brings major disappointment in marriage. When you're expecting already, maybe you have made future
kind of
plans.
Entitlement.
There'll be exactly. There'll be time that you would even talk about things in details.
Yes,
with
and then
someone.
when you're really married, you're inside the marriage, you don't have to.
Your partner will start acting amnesia, like acting of like I can't remember what. Did something happen like that? Me?
Are you sure?
When?
But what did I say?
Did I say it like that?
That's when he's going to deny everything.
It would be like a dream. Like, no, we never did something like that. That's because, and some will be like, but that time we were not married, and then now we are married.
So there's a difference.
So the entitlement.
So then you did not tell me there will be a difference.
There will be a difference. Like what we are talking about, it's a myth. Inside the house is going to be reality check. So always just have it at the back of your mind. That's why these days you'd see 1 week old marriage.
Yes, they're already having problems.
1 week old, and then there's
some are already going home to go and tell their parents. Some
complaining.
Are telling their friends. Some are sometimes after 3 days. It doesn't have to take, because some hidden. There's one thing about humans. If you meet someone for the first time, a person hides all his flaws.
That's true.
So you're married, you're in the same house, he goes to the toilet, he farts, or he belches, he eats with his hand, everything irritating, everything that
and
is
he
really,
knows it's irritating, but it's part of him, or it's
him
part
naturally.
Of her.
That's him, that's her. So you're seeing it for the first time,
they
and
would
you're
hide
not
it.
understanding it.
Oh,
You are not, because it wasn't there before.
Yes.
So this is something new. What?
And it's
Maybe
like
he
a
goes
new
to the
person.
toilet, he doesn't flush. You never lived before, so you never knew that about him. And there are people,
and nobody would come out and tell you, I do not flush.
I have a problem flushing.
No, few of them would do that. But
So
then no.
those things that you don't see before are those things that come up when you eventually get married, and there are those things you'll be surprised at.
And it's worse when the person is actually a liar. The person hid almost everything from you. So after the marriage, you'll be like, it's like you're seeing a new
For sure.
person. And I think that's what happened with those 1 week old marriages.
Yes.
Because it's
You try to hide it.
yes,
It's very
you'll be
normal.
like,
You
but
can't hide it.
this is not the person I married.
You're
are
a completely
entirely
different person.
Exactly. Entirely a different person. How am I supposed to cope? Because when they say compromise comes when you've done some, I do some, and then we're meeting in the middle, But then when it happens that the other person, what you actually talked about was entirely different, and it's like there is nothing about that person that you can compromise with. The marriage is
Everything
it's
is
dead.
different. Everything is new. He is bringing a whole new person to the marriage.
And that's
you
not
already
the
had a
package.
relationship. That's not what you got married to.
And that's a major problem. So when you do not expect, that's better, because people will change whether we like it or not. You yourself is changing at the process of marriage. You will change. So don't expect that you can change and then a person who is human being cannot change. Okay, it is okay.
It doesn't work like
so
that.
exactly. So just enter into marriage with that open mind that anything can happen. There is no expectation. Do not expect your partner to be perfect. Do not expect your partner to lick your toe all the time. Do not expect your partner to, to be Prince Charming, because Prince Charming is cartoon, is a myth.
Yes.
Anime. Please hear me. So
And one thing I want to add is, for a marriage to work, you have to understand that you have to work. You have to work. No relationship works, not siblings relationship, not parent relationship, not friend relationship. No relationship works without both parties working towards it. So you're married to him, he has changed a bit, you've also changed a bit. So you work towards that. You sacrifice some things, you make balances, you add, you reduce, you do the calculations.
There's always addition and reduction.
You have to work at it if you want it to work. Yeah, the pasture is greener on the other side is because they are watering the other side. You are here not watering your own, looking at people watering their own. How would your own water? You're looking at social media. This one have fine husband. This one have fine kitchen and have fine children and have fine. They're traveling abroad.
And all of them have made
your relation?
sacrifice.
Some people show you lies. So understand that what you have, as long as it's working, keep working at it.
But it's
just
like
if I leave, I'll get someone better. You did not leave. I'm not sure you're going to get something better, because you already know this one. You already know his flaws, so it's better you work at
what
this
makes it better. It's you. It's you working that makes it better.
You work. You talk about the problems. You try to find solutions. You put in the work. You don't just look at others and then say, our own is not doing like this. You complain to the husband, our own is not doing like this. While you both are not trying, you're just looking at others doing good in their relationships.
And that's
you have to work.
But it's just like you said. You mentioned, would nobody tell their flaws?
Yes, nobody shows.
Especially on social media, nobody would come and. Some have tried, but I think in 100%, it's just about 2% come out to tell you, my marriage failed. I am so sad. This is what happens. Or my husband is treating me this way. Or my wife is. People tend to put the happy part. They push the happy part forward. Yes, they tend to make that. With this, with that, and that's what we see. But at the end of the day, everyone have how they deal with their issues.
The good part, there is the bad part.
So it's how you put in your work. Come in with that expectation of no expectation, if that makes sense. No expectation.
That's true.
Yes, whatever comes, just put it at the back of your mind. Whatever comes, I'm going to deal with it. Whatever comes, I would work with it with my husband. And it's okay for you to talk about it. It's for you to talk about it right before marriage. Okay, what are we going into this marriage with? Just, okay, we're going to this marriage knowing that it's for, first of all, for religious purpose, then for companionship, for the rest of our lives together and all. So we do not expect anything in the marriage. All we need to do is now, let's just take it one step at a time. However it comes, however life dishes out life issues or joy, happiness, and all that, would work it together. It's like do not cross the do not.
When we reach the bridge, we'll cross it.
Thank you. I was
trying to reach the bridge, we'll cross it.
Exactly. So use that, and then I promise you, marriage would be semi-perfect, because it's not perfect.
It might not be perfect,
but then it will be semi-perfect for
It'll
you.
Be close to perfect.
Yeah, close.
It'll be okay for you.
Yeah, you'll be okay, because when you're not expecting, when it happens, you're like, So like I said, we would have perfect. Do not forget one last word for me. One last word. You are not Cinderella and he's not Prince Charming, and then you'll be fine. Just carry that in the back of your mind, and then you'll be cool. My last word.
One day at a time. No matter how bad it gets, it will get better. One day at a time.
That's true. Well, with that being said, I'll say thank you so much for watching. If you have watched this extent, you're amazing. Please don't forget to click on the red subscribe button, and you can join the family. This is a crazy family, okay? Mariya is part of the family, so like it's a continuous thing. And also don't forget to click on the post notification bell, like I said, and for you to get any upload. And please make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Help video grow. And also put your comments on the comment section below about what you think about marriage, your experience, if you want to share, and also someone around you's experience that you feel you need to share and all that. And if you agree with everything we've said, then or disagree with everything, with some things that we said, just drop it at the comment section below. If you want a part 2, because like we said, marriage is one broad topic. So if you want a part 2 or 3 of this, then also say it at the comment section below, and we promise we'll bring you more, Mariya and I, of course. So with that being said, I'll say thank you so much for watching. Until next time, Mariya, say bye.
Bye.
It is that girl. Signature. It is that girl signing out.
That girl Summy.
That girl Summy.